Today, we're breaking down one of the most surprising, most futuristic, and honestly, one of the most strategically important electric cars coming to the United States in 2026. This is the Honda Zero Saloon, the first car built on Honda's brand new EV architecture. A complete reset, a zero starting point for Honda's next generation electric future. And trust me, this is not the Honda you're used to. This is cleaner, smarter, lighter, more aerodynamic, and more software driven than anything Honda has ever built. So buckle up, because in the next 20 minutes, we're taking a deep dive into everything. Design, engineering, battery tech, interior software, charging, aerodynamics, safety, autonomous features, and why Honda is calling this their Zero Compromise EV. You might be thinking, Honda EV? Isn't Honda late to the electric party? Well, yes and no. Honda intentionally skipped the rushed wave of early EVs. Instead, they went back to a literal clean slate. They called it the Zero Series, meaning a reset of everything. Zero legacy, zero compromises, zero excess. The result is a vehicle that doesn't feel like a retrofit or a converted gas car. This is a fully EV native platform, lighter, lower, stiffer, and way more efficient than anything Honda has designed before. And the Saloon is their flagship, the one meant to show off everything they're capable of. This is the EV they want America to judge them by. Let's talk design, because this thing does not look like a traditional Honda sedan. The Zero Saloon has a blade-like silhouette. It stretches long and low, with a nose so sharp and aerodynamic that it almost looks like a concept car that somehow escaped a motor show. You get a cab-forward layout, ultra-thin headlights, a sleek continuous light bar in the rear, and body panels that are almost obsessively smooth, designed for airflow, not ornamentation. There's a reason for that. Honda wants this to be one of the most aerodynamic sedans in the world. They're targeting a drag coefficient well below 0.20, Tesla Model S territory. And that means better range, better stability, less wind noise, and a lower energy cost per mile. From the side profile, you'll notice the wheels are tucked in tight, with aerodynamic cladding. Even the door handles are flush, and Honda redesigned airflow channels underneath the car to minimize turbulence. Now, let's talk platform, because the Zero Saloon sits on Honda's newest EV first architecture. Here's what that means. A skateboard battery layout short overhangs a long wheelbase super low center of gravity and a flat floor interior. The chassis is built to balance high rigidity with low mass. Honda is obsessed with lightweight engineering, even on an EV, so they're using what they call thin, high-energy battery modules that fit vertically within the floor structure, keeping the platform slim. Let's talk numbers. The car sits lower than the Accord. The wheelbase is longer than a BMW 5 Series. Weight reduction is a priority. Honda is aiming for a curb weight significantly lower than most EV sedans in this class. This matters because EVs have a reputation for being heavy, bulky, and not exactly fun to drive. Honda wants the Zero Saloon to feel light, agile, and responsive, almost like a classic Honda sports sedan from the 90s, but electric. But battery tech is where Honda is making bold claims. The Zero Saloon uses an ultra-thin battery pack with high energy density cells. Honda hasn't published the exact capacity yet, but based on the engineering goals and leaked technical documents, we're likely looking at something in the 80 to 90 kilowatt hour range, depending on trim. But what's more important than the size is the efficiency. Honda is targeting 250 watt hours per mile or better, which could translate to 300 to 350 miles EPA range, and potentially 400 to 450 miles on Japan WLTP cycles. This is not meant to be a Plaid or Lucid competitor. Honda's goal is efficiency first, performance second. Charging, Honda claims a 10 to 80% charge in around 15 to 20 minutes, thanks to high voltage architecture and a cooling system that keeps the pack stable during fast charging. They're also investing in anti-degradation chemistry, trying to reduce battery wear by 20% compared to typical EV packs. In other words, Honda wants you to own this thing for a decade without worrying about range loss. And now let's talk about motors and performance, because Honda understands power delivery better than most automakers. Expect two setups: single motor RWD, smooth, efficient, great for city and highway dual motor AWD. Performance focused for bad weather and better acceleration. Horsepower numbers haven't been officially announced, but industry insiders expect 215 to 250 horsepower for the RWD, 330 to 400 horsepower for the AWD torque will be instant. This is an EV after all, and Honda is promising their signature linear power delivery. Not jerky, not overly aggressive, smooth, predictable, confidence building. Honda keeps calling this car joyful to drive, which honestly is refreshing. This isn't about drag races, it's about balanced performance, daily usability, silent power, and predictable handling. If I had to guess, the AWD version should hit 0 to 60 in the mid to high 4-second range, quick but not crazy. Again, this is a driver's EV, not a YouTube drag strip monster. And this is where Honda might shock people. Handling. Honda engineered the Zero Saloon with a low hip point, wide stance, and a steering system that tries to replicate the feel of a performance gasoline sedan. Expect low center of gravity, high torsional rigidity, near 50-50 weight distribution, new generation electric power steering, adaptive dampers on higher trims. Honda wants this to corner flat without the heavy, floaty EV feeling. The suspension system uses lighter components, and Honda tuned the car to give drivers more road feel than most EVs, which usually feel numb. If Honda nails this, we might have the best handling, non-luxury EV sedan in the US market when it drops. Inside the Zero Saloon, Honda is moving away from clutter. This cabin is minimalist, tech-forward, and very, very clean. You get a wide panoramic digital dash, a central floating touchscreen, clean horizontal lines, slim air vents, soft ambient lighting, and a flat open floor. But here's the cool part. Honda is promising thin, lightweight seats that still remain supportive. They want you to feel like you're sitting on a modern lounge chair, not a car seat. The software, a completely new UI, built by Honda, designed around simplicity and user control. Voice commands are improved. Over-the-air updates are standard. Navigation is EV optimized. And the system is designed to avoid lag, clutter, and ads, something many EV owners complain about in other brands. There's also a new human-machine interface. Honda wants the car to be easy enough for anyone, including first-time EV buyers. Think clear menus, fast responses, high-resolution animations, smart climate control, one-pedal driving options, customizable driver profiles. This is Honda's biggest software leap since the introduction of Honda Sensing. Safety is the heart of Honda's brand, nobody will argue that. The Zero Saloon introduces Honda Sensing 360 Plus, the newest evolution of their safety suite. Expect 360-degree radar coverage, multiple forward-facing cameras, LiDAR on higher trims, lane centering adaptive cruise, traffic jam assist, a collision mitigation steering, advanced blind spot monitoring, hands-free highway assist, limited states at launch. Honda wants the car to sense hazards earlier, react smoother, and prevent accidents more effectively than previous systems. The car also includes predictive braking algorithms that monitor surrounding vehicles, not just the one in front. And because it's a 2026 EV, full OTA updates mean these systems will improve over time. So why does this car matter? Because Honda is aiming directly at the heart of the US EV market, a practical EV with real range, competitive pricing, reliable charging behavior, Honda-level build quality, and a design that feels futuristic without being weird. This is the EV for people who don't want a luxury badge, but also don't want a cheap, compromised EV. It's for everyday Americans who want something clean, efficient, modern, and fun to drive. If Honda can deliver the range, the efficiency, the software, and that lightweight driving feel they're promising, then the Honda Zero Saloon might be one of the smartest, most balanced EV sedans in the US market in 2026. And that is your complete deep dive into the 2026 Honda Zero Saloon. If you enjoyed this long-form tech breakdown, make sure you hit that like button, because it really helps push this video out to more people. Subscribe for more next-gen EV reviews, deep dives, and engineering breakdowns, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Is Honda coming back stronger than ever? Or is the EV market too competitive for a late arrival? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.